The world today feels precariously balanced. Geopolitical tensions simmer, and the air is thick with uncertainty. Nations are at odds, and the global political landscape is more volatile than ever. Every headline seems to bring news of another conflict, another crisis, another reason to be on edge. Conflict zones flicker with a dangerous intensity as if they could ignite at any moment. The presence of military forces in these areas is a stark reminder of the fragility of peace. The images of destruction and chaos are a sobering contrast to the serene landscapes we often take for granted. In this climate of uncertainty, the carefree act of international travel takes on a new weight. Airports, once bustling with excitement and anticipation, now echo with the sounds of concern and caution. Travelers constantly check their phones for updates, hoping their destinations remain safe. What was once an escape, a chance to experience the world's diversity, now demands a sobering assessment of risk and responsibility. Tourists gaze at landmarks with a mix of wonder and wariness, and travel agencies are inundated with questions about safety and security. The world is a beautiful tapestry, but some threads are frayed, some colors bleed into darkness. Scenic landscapes coexist with areas of destruction, creating a jarring juxtaposition that reminds us of the world's duality. Beauty and devastation, hope and despair, all intertwined. For those contemplating international travel, a dose of reality is necessary. Researching travel safety has become a crucial part of trip planning. Conversations at cafes revolve around potential risks, with travelers weighing the pros and cons of their journeys. The romance of exploration must be tempered by the understanding that the world is not a theme park. Visible security measures in tourist areas serve as a constant reminder of the potential dangers. Maps are no longer just about destinations, they are about navigating a complex web of safety concerns. It is a complex, interconnected system, and right now, that system is experiencing significant stress. Global maps highlight stress points, areas where tensions are highest. Travel delays and disruptions are becoming more common, adding another layer of complexity to the already challenging task of international travel. The consequences of this stress are real and impact travelers directly. Unexpected travel issues, cancellations, and the constant need to adapt to changing circumstances are now part and parcel of the travel experience. The world on edge demands vigilance, adaptability, and a deep understanding of the interconnected nature of our global community. The most immediate danger of traveling during times of conflict is, of course, physical safety. War zones are volatile and unpredictable. Travel advisories issued by governments are not mere suggestions, they are urgent warnings based on real-time intelligence. Ignoring these warnings is akin to playing Russian roulette with your well-being, but the threats extend beyond active conflict zones. Geopolitical tensions have a ripple effect. Civil unrest can erupt with little warning, borders can close abruptly, and transportation systems can grind to a halt. In such situations, travelers may find themselves stranded, far from home, and in harm's way. The interconnected nature of global politics adds another layer of complexity. A conflict in one region can quickly escalate, pulling in other nations and destabilizing entire regions. This domino effect makes it nearly impossible to predict how a situation might evolve, even for seasoned political analysts. For travelers, this unpredictability translates into uncertainty and risk. An itinerary carefully planned months in advance can be rendered obsolete overnight. Flights might be cancelled, hotels locked down, and entire countries deemed unsafe. The dream vacation can quickly morph into a logistical nightmare, with travelers left scrambling for safety and a way home. Recent history offers stark reminders of how quickly travel landscapes can change. The outbreak of war in insert a recent war conflict, for example, sent shockwaves through the travel industry. Thousands of travelers found themselves stranded, their trips cut short, their plans in disarray. Similar disruptions occurred during the insert another recent conflict. These events highlight the fragility of travel plans in an unstable world. They serve as a stark reminder that the luxury of exploration comes with inherent risks, risks that are amplified in times of global turmoil. Section 5. Beyond the headlines, the strain on resources and responsibility. The impact of conflict on travel extends beyond immediate danger and disruption. It affects the very fabric of society, tearing apart communities and leaving lasting scars on the infrastructure. Airports become chaotic hubs of uncertainty, and public transportation grinds to a halt, making movement within these regions nearly impossible. It also places a significant strain on resources in affected regions and globally. Refugee camps swell with displaced persons, creating a dire need for food, water, and medical supplies. The global community often struggles to meet these demands, leading to shortages that ripple across borders. Emergency services, already stretched thin, are further burdened with the needs of displaced persons and those caught in the crossfire. Hospitals become overwhelmed with casualties, and emergency response teams work around the clock, often with limited resources and support. Choosing to travel to these regions during times of crisis adds to the burden. Tourists and travelers, though often well-meaning, can inadvertently strain local resources even further. Their presence requires additional security, accommodation, and sometimes even medical attention, diverting critical resources from those in desperate need. It diverts resources, increases demand on overstretched infrastructure, and potentially complicates evacuation efforts. Damaged roads and bridges make transportation of aid and evacuation of civilians a logistical nightmare. Crowded border crossings become choke points, slowing down the movement of people and supplies. In such a climate, responsible travel necessitates a conscious decision to minimize our impact on vulnerable communities. This means supporting local aid efforts, choosing sustainable travel options, and being mindful of the resources we consume. By doing so, we can help alleviate some of the strain and contribute positively to the recovery and resilience of these regions. The financial risks associated with traveling during times of conflict are significant. Trip cancellation insurance, while advisable, often comes with exclusions for acts of war or civil unrest. This leaves travelers vulnerable to substantial financial losses if their trips are disrupted. Beyond the immediate costs of cancelled flights and accommodations, travelers may also face inflated prices for rebooking, emergency accommodation, and essential supplies. The financial fallout from a disrupted trip can be substantial, adding financial stress to an already stressful situation. In contrast to the uncertainty and risk of international travel, staying at home offers a haven of relative stability. The hustle and bustle of airports, the long lines, and the constant movement can be overwhelming. But when we choose to stay within the comfort of our homes, we find a different kind of peace. Home is where we can create a sanctuary, a place where we can control our environment and find solace in the familiar. The simple act of sharing a meal with family, engaging in conversations, and enjoying each other's company can be incredibly grounding. While global events may weigh heavily on our minds, constantly bombarding us with news and updates, we can find solace in the familiar rhythms of our daily lives. The routine of waking up, having breakfast, and going about our day provides a sense of normalcy amidst the chaos. We can find comfort in the small, everyday moments that make up our lives, whether it's enjoying a cup of coffee in the morning or having breakfast with family. These moments remind us of the stability and continuity that home provides. Surrounded by the comfort of loved ones and community, we can engage in activities that bring us joy and strengthen our bonds. Playing board games, participating in community gatherings, and simply being present with each other can foster a sense of belonging and security. This is not to say that we should turn a blind eye to the suffering in the world. On the contrary, we have a moral obligation to stay informed and aware of the challenges faced by others. Watching the news, reading articles, and staying updated on current events are crucial in maintaining our connection to the world. We must empathize with those affected by conflict and hardship, understanding their struggles and offering our support in any way we can. Researching, reading, and educating ourselves about global issues are essential steps in fostering empathy and compassion. To empathize with those affected by conflict, we can take tangible actions to make a difference. Donating to charities, volunteering at local shelters, and participating in community service are ways we can contribute to humanitarian efforts and support those in need. Supporting humanitarian efforts can take many forms, from packing aid supplies to participating in charity events. These actions not only help those in need, but also strengthen our sense of community and purpose. But we can do so from a place of safety and stability, ensuring that we are well enough to help others. Taking care of our own well-being allows us to be more effective in our efforts to support and uplift those around us. Without adding to the burden, we can find peace in stability, knowing that our actions, no matter how small, contribute to a larger cause. By maintaining our own stability, we create a foundation from which we can extend our support to others, fostering a more compassionate and connected world. These are undoubtedly challenging times marked by uncertainty and a sense of unease about the future. But they are also times that call for prudence, for patience, and for a renewed appreciation for the simple joys of peace and stability. The urge to travel, to explore, to experience the world's wonders is a fundamental human desire, but it is a desire that can be deferred, that can wait for a time when the world feels less fragile, less fraught with danger. The current climate of global instability will not last forever. Just as the world has emerged from previous periods of turmoil, so too will it find its way back to a state of relative calm. And when it does, the joys of travel will once again be within our grasp. Until then, let us prioritize safety, act with responsibility, and find solace in the knowledge that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit yearns for connection, for understanding, and for the day when we can once again explore our world without fear.